Good afternoon, everybody. We are doing our second webinar, and we're hoping that you're enjoying these and the ability to go back and view these. After the webinar is live, it will be on our Rawls Career Management page YouTube channel so that you can go back and review it at your convenience. Today, we're going to be talking about the Rawls Career Fair that's going to be on October 3rd, which is next Wednesday. It's hard to believe that it's already time for Career Fair. I'll be presenting the webinar. My name is Jamie Pittman. I'm Program Director of Student Development in the Rawls College of Business Career Management Center. And please feel free to reach out to us if you have further questions about this webinar, either during or after the webinar, even if you're watching it on replay. So the Rawls Career Fair will be next Wednesday, October 3rd at the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Let's talk about a few things that you might want to know. Before we get to that, I do want to let you know that there is the ability to chat on this webinar. I'm not sure if there's anybody here with me, but if you want to ask a question, then there is the chat feature that is available, and you do that by going into your signing into your YouTube channel. If you do not have a channel, then you have to actually create a channel so that you can have the ability to live chat. Okay, so we're going to run through this real quickly so that you guys can have a quick view of what the Career Fair has to offer and how to be prepared. So a couple of things you need to know. It's very handy if you bring your student ID with you. There is a sign-in process that gets you into the Career Fair. Oops, so sorry. And so it just goes a lot smoother if you have your ID with you so that you can swipe as you come in. There are buses that will be running back and forth right outside the Rawls College of Business near the baseball field. So if you want to catch a bus to go over to the Civic Center, those will be running from 10:30 to 4:30. There's also a place right inside if you want to check your bag, your purse, or a backpack, so that you don't feel like you have to carry that around with you the whole time. We do have 2 students that are sitting in that area that will keep those secure and watch over those for the duration of your time while you're at the Career Fair. You'll be provided a lanyard where you will be able to put your printed name tag on there as well as your major, so that basically the name tag helps out so that recruiters can see your name and your major quickly and your graduation date, but also so that we know that you've gone through the check-in process. The Rawls Career Fair is only open to Rawls students, so we want to make sure that we keep it nice and secure and just available for all students. When you're at the Career Fair, there is free water available. Sometimes there is a snack machine in case you do. There's not a concession stand, but there is a snack machine available. So if you need a snack, there's a place for you to buy a snack, but free water available throughout the duration. We also have a first impressions booth where you can go if you need a mirror or a brush or something like that. We also have some small items in case you lose a button or anything like that, so you could sew one back on. That's called our First Impressions booth. And we also have a LinkedIn photo booth. So if you want to get a free professional headshot taken for your LinkedIn profile, we do have a photo booth available to you where you can get your photo taken, and then your photo file will be mailed to you within about a week and a half of the Career Fair. One thing to keep in mind that if you come in the morning, the Career Fair opens at 11, and the line to get into the Career Fair can actually get a little bit long at the beginning. So just know that if you come, the line starts to form about 10:45. It can be a little bit of a process to get through that line. The dress code for the Career Fair is business professional. So ladies, I'll show you examples. This is examples for ladies, and then I'll show you an example for men. But if you've ever been to the Career Fair, you look around, you'll see that everybody looks really, really sharp. And employers always comment to us how sharp the Texas Tech students look. Not every Career Fair has a dress code. So we do have very high standards for our Career Fair, and our employers really, really like seeing students dressed this way. It makes a really, really good first impression. So what that means is that means a 2-piece suit. So ladies, that's going to be a jacket and pants or jacket and skirt. And as you can see by the screen here, This is going to be like either black, navy, or gray, and that, you know, that's just going to look more professional for you. And for the shirt underneath your suit, it can have a collar if you'd like, or you could just do a plain blouse, but you want to stay away from like a t-shirt material or anything like that. Ladies, you do not have to wear pantyhose, so that's great news, but you do want to pay attention to your shoes. You want to wear a professional looking shoe. You can wear a heel if you'd like. You just want to make sure that you can walk comfortably in them. And if you'd rather wear a more comfortable flat for career fair, that's acceptable as well, because you will be walking around on concrete and standing in long lines. So you want to keep your jewelry simple, and just, you know, make sure everything is very professional looking. Your blouse doesn't have to be white or gray, even though that's the example that you see here. But you want to make sure that it doesn't, you know, nothing too crazy, doesn't stand out too much, and that it stays looking professional. Okay, guys, so your business professional attire is going to be a two-piece suit as well. So the way you know if it's an actual suit is the jacket and the pants are going to be the same color. So you're talking about, again, you're talking about gray, navy, or black most of the time. You can see this middle picture here does have a pinstripe. That's acceptable as well. Men's Warehouse does give a discount for Rawls students if you take your ID. So if you're looking for a place to kind of get a good deal on a suit, that'd be a good place to go. There's several other places around town where you can get a nice suit. But you want to make sure that you have a shirt underneath that is well pressed. It doesn't have to be white. You can wear a colored shirt underneath, but you want to make sure that your tie and your shirt coordinate. And if you're not sure about that, then ask the professionals in the stores in the men's apparel section if your tie and your shirt coordinate. You want to wear a professional looking dress shoe if possible. And let's see, what else, guys? You want to make sure that if you have a beard that it's trimmed, or you don't have to shave your beard, but you want to make sure that it's trimmed. And if you don't have a beard, you definitely want to make sure that you're clean shaven. The things you want to stay away from are khakis and jeans are, you know, definitely jeans are too casual. Khakis can be considered more business casual, and that would not make it a suit. That would be more of like a sports coat, and khakis is considered business casual. Stay away from flip-flops or sandals, wrinkled, stained, or damaged clothing. No sunglasses or hats. If you have a tattoo, you probably want to cover those up just in case, because you don't know if it's acceptable to an employer or not. Be sure and take out your piercings. I see a lot of this at career fair. I think people just forget to take them out. Guys, you should not have any piercings in your ears or otherwise. Ladies, take out the nose studs, and you don't want to have more than 2 earrings in your ears. Also, remove any facial piercings. Remember to turn your cell phones off, and ladies, for your purses, you don't want your purse to be a distraction. You can bring a purse, but you definitely don't want it to be a distraction. Also, do not be chewing gum when you're talking to an employer. It's just doesn't look good if you're chomping on gum. So think about doing maybe a mint or one of those Listerine tabs that can dissolve quickly in your mouth. Okay, so let's talk about some ways that you can prepare for career fair. Let me check something real quick. I want to see if anybody is on, and I'm not sure why. Let me double check something here. See if I can see if anybody's on. Not sure why I can see that. Can't see that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move forward. If you have any questions, I'm not able to see the chat at this time, but if you have any questions, then feel free to email me or come by the Career Management Center, and we can help you out. So one way to prepare is to download the Career Fair Plus app. This is going to be a great way for you to see the list of employers that are coming to career fair. You definitely don't want to walk in and not have a plan on what you're going to do. So if you want to search Career Fair Plus in the App Store, It's green, and if you have the past app for other career fairs, you're going to want to go ahead and download the new app. This one's green. In the past, it's been red and black, I believe. So the symbol on this one's green. Go ahead and download Career Fair Plus and search for the Rawls Career Fair, and you'll find the 2018 Fall Career Fair. And if you click on that, then you'll be inside our current career fair where you can click on a list of employers. From the employer tab, you can also put in filters so that you can narrow down the list of employers who are hiring for your major. This is a great way to prepare because I think right now we have about 120 employers that are attending the career fair, and there's no possible way you can talk to all 120. So if you look through the list, narrow your focus, that way you can begin to make a game plan. All right, so I recommend that you, after narrowing down your focus, I would suggest that you make a list of the employers you want to visit. Now, the number of employers you want to visit is totally up to you. That's something that, it's just based on, how many you think you can visit and, be effective with. So I'll just leave that up to you. What you'll want to do is you'll want to do a little bit of research on each company, because you definitely don't want to walk up to a career fair booth and not know anything about the company and have to have the recruiter give you all this information. That's something that they prefer you do ahead of time. And the way you do this is by researching the information on the Career Fair Plus app or going to their websites. Now, you don't have to know every single detail about a company, but you definitely need to have a pretty good grasp on what are the products and services, or what is the main purpose that the company does, so that it's not something that you have to waste the time of the recruiter finding out, okay? Now, if you have detailed questions about the company, that's great, but you want to already have an idea about the company and also what they're hiring for. So all this information can be found inside the app or inside Handshake. That's why they expect you to have already done this research ahead of time. So I would recommend that you kind of rank your list of companies and decide, who do I want to go see first, second, third, etc. If you're super nervous and you haven't been to career fair before, then you might want to maybe visit one of the companies that you're not as interested in, so that you can kind of warm up, because sometimes it does take a little bit of time for us to warm up and get used to, talking to an employer and that kind of thing. So definitely take that time to either walk around the career fair, eavesdrop a little bit, see what other people are saying to the employers, or just go talk to one of the companies that you're not quite as interested in, so that you can get warmed up with your conversations and your elevator pitches. You definitely want to make a great first impression, and a lot of this has to do with your body language. So if you'll look at this 77, 38, 55% rule of communication, you'll see that body language makes up about 55% of your communication. So this is definitely something you need to practice. You need to practice being able to walk up to an employer and do this. You definitely need to be able to make eye contact. Okay, you can see in this photo here, this person is making eye contact, they're smiling, they're reaching out to make that firm handshake, and this is all part of making that great first impression. Now, I do see one problem here. I don't know if you see it or not, but this person has stubble. So this person did not shave, and I always put this one up here just so you can see an example of, he's got everything going on except for obviously he forgot to shave. So guys, don't forget to shave. It makes a big difference with employers. But if you struggle with this, then not with shaving, with eye contact, you definitely need to practice this. And I recommend you practicing with your friends or your roommates, or even come into the Career Management Center and make an appointment and come talk to us. Practice makes perfect on making these first impressions, but I want you guys to be able to walk up, make eye contact, smile, introduce yourself, hopefully give at least a part of your elevator pitch or all of your elevator pitch, and make a great first impression on that employer. What do you say? Okay, so we kind of mentioned this a while ago. Walk up, you're going to introduce yourself. The employers at the career fair want you to do the majority of the talking, because think about it this way. They're standing there and they're talking to students all day long, okay? So they want you to do the majority of the talking. They are going to talk some, but they don't have enough energy to do all the talking for every student they talk to all day. Besides that, they want to know more about you. So introduce yourself, tell them what you know about their company or what interests you. Have you applied for an internship on their on Handshake or on their website, or a full-time job? Is there something that particularly interests you about the company? Once you've demonstrated that interest and knowledge, give them some details about your relevant experience or experience you're hoping to gain in the future. If you're not sure, then just talk about what you're possibly looking for, okay? End with a good question, and then guess what? When you've done all that, it's their turn to talk. And congratulations, you've just delivered an elevator pitch. It may not have been the elevator pitch you had in your mind. It may not have been the elevator pitch you thought you were going to say, but that's okay. Sometimes that happens. And the reason that can happen is because you want it to sound natural. You want it to sound conversational. And if you have this memorized speech, you're not going to come off that way at all. Okay. So sometimes it's not going to happen just like you have it in your head. And that's okay. The main thing is you want to walk up, introduce yourself, you know, these steps here, have a good question for them, and just have a great experience. What are some good questions? Well, these are some examples here, and you can actually Google this. You can get all kinds of great information by Googling this. But you want to be careful with the questions that you ask employers. What you want to stay away from is you don't want to ask any kind of question that you should already know the answer to. You should already know what the company's hiring for. That is a pet peeve of recruiters, for you to walk up and ask what they're hiring for. That's a waste of their time. You should already know that. You already should know what the company is, okay? So what kind of company is it? What do they offer? What are their products and services? What are they about? You should already know this by doing your homework. If this is kind of an impromptu, let's say you hadn't planned on talking to a certain company, then step aside, look on the app, read a little bit about them, or do this while you're standing in line to talk to the employer, just so you have a little bit of that background information. So those are the main things you want to stay away from. But other than that, there's lots of options for questions that you can ask employers. The main thing is that you want to show interest in the company or the positions that they're hiring for, or even show some interest in the recruiter themselves, okay? So these are the main objectives. These should be the main objectives behind your questions. Another way to be prepared is to have your resume ready. If you are in the process or ready to apply for internships or full-time jobs, then you should have your resume with you at Career Fair. And hopefully you've already gone through the resume review process with the Career Management Center. If you haven't, you need to get on it right now, okay? Your resume has to be approved in Handshake before you can apply for jobs in Handshake. Some of the recruiters that are coming to Career Fair will already have their jobs posted in Handshake, and they will be signing up for interviews on the Thursday and Friday and weeks following Career Fair. That's why you need to be prepared now and be ready, because you may come in contact with a company and recruiter and they really like you and they're ready to interview you. You want to have that resume ready. You want to be able to apply for those jobs on Handshake, okay? So have your resume ready. Be sure your resume is printed on resume paper. You never want to take a printed resume to a career fair or an interview on regular copy paper, okay? That is a no-no. And if you're not sure what resume paper is, come by the Career Management Center in room 119, and we pretty much always have a box of resume paper sitting out on the desk in the front office for you to take some sheets, okay? So you can take 20 to 25 sheets of resume paper and print them yourself, or if you can get your resume emailed to Stacy, you can see her email address here on the slide. This is our lady that works in our front lobby. She prints resumes as long as you can get your resume emailed to her by the Friday before the career fair, okay, by 5 o'clock. So that's going to be this Friday, September 28th, by 5 o'clock. If you want your resume printed, then you can email it to her and she'll have it printed for you. Otherwise, you can come grab the paper yourself, okay? The difference between resume paper and copy paper is resume paper, if you hold it up to the light, it's going to have a watermark on it. And it also has a little bit of a different feel and texture than regular copy paper. It looks a lot more professional. I also recommend that you have some kind of professional padfolio or portfolio for you to carry your resumes in. We do sell one here in the Career Management Center for cost, pretty much. It's about $15, but they look really nice. It gives you a place for you to carry your resumes in. some business cards if you have them, or even a place for you to collect business cards, and a notepad. So it's very handy at things like career fairs and interviewing. It doesn't have to be a Rawls Padfolio. Anything will work. Anything like that will work, but you want it to look professional, okay? You don't want to take just a floppy little folder. You don't want to carry anything like that around. Definitely needs to look professional. Okay, be prepared to take notes. You may have a recruiter give you some special instructions, so you would definitely want to have a pen handy. You may need to do some follow-up activities post-career fair, and you may need to have a way to take notes so that you can remember those things. We do have another video that we made from one of our actual career fairs that's posted on our YouTube channel, and if you will just search Rawls Career Management Center, you can find our YouTube channel. That's where this video will be posted after this webinar. And then also we have lots of other videos actually, but we do have a career fair video if you want to kind of see what it's like at the career fair. If you've never experienced a career fair, you may have no idea in your mind's eye what this looks like. So that's one thing that's great about this video, is it gives you a peek into what the career fair looks like. But also we have questions that we've gone around and asked some of the recruiters at the career fair, and with their answers and responses in that video. So it's about a 4-minute video, but it's full of great information for you. The other thing that I want to remind you guys about is you definitely want to be prepared for interviews, okay? Because a lot of those companies do have those jobs posted in Handshake, and they will be doing interviews following the career fair. So you need to have your schedules in your mind and make sure you don't double book yourself, okay? Go into the career fair with confidence. Definitely go up and talk to people, build your network, and hopefully you'll attend the career fair more than once while you're in the Rawls. And each time you go, hopefully you'll build that confidence. Please let us know if there's anything we can do to help you in the Career Management Center. We're always here to help. Please email me your questions or come by the Career Management Center. We're glad to help you. Thank you.